ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
Frustration is growing as San Diegans try to register for an appointment or even get updates on the COVID-19 vaccine. The major roadblocks they're encountering using the state's new website. And we explain why the local COVID vaccine supply is getting a boost. Plus,
I just wanted to be the voice for these people that have felt different.
a local teenager trying to make a difference for children. In a story that is positively San Diego, the action she took to help them build confidence despite being different from their peers.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
And good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson. I am joined remotely by my co-anchor Lindsay Pena. We're going to be checking in with her shortly. But first, San Diegans trying to get an appointment for the COVID-19 vaccine are now running into roadblocks using the state's new website for signups. The My Turn website was unveiled just this week. It allows residents to find out if they're eligible to receive the vaccine and schedule an appointment. But as our ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner found out, some San Diegans found the website so frustrating they just gave up.
The state's new go-to website for vaccination notifications is already being criticized following its rollout this week.
It's incredibly frustrating.
When San Diegan Terry White heard about the site, she jumped on to get an appointment for her husband, who's a senior with prostate cancer.
How many times do you think you tried on My Turn?
Oh my gosh, at least 10 to 15 times.
The pilot program called My Turn states that you can find out if it's your turn to be vaccinated, and you can schedule vaccination appointments at sites like the Petco Park Superstation. The website went live on a trial basis for people living in San Diego and Los Angeles counties, but Governor Newsom hopes for statewide access next month.
The people who are eligible, 65 and older, as soon as it gets to the place where you're going to schedule an appointment, it's when the whole thing goes down.
White and others said that they were met with roadblocks. When we logged on, we saw available appointments, but once you click on them, they're gone. A spokesperson for the state wrote to ABC 10 News in Part Wednesday that its IT team wasn't aware of any errors in the system. When the spokesperson checked available appointments, none were left, suggesting that this may be a situation of demand outpacing supply. A San Diego County spokesperson, however, wrote to ABC 10 News that the state is well aware of the issues and is working to fix them. White finally got an appointment for her husband through the VA instead, but the process has been stressful.
You do everything you can possibly do to have this work, and you get nowhere. It's sad.
Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Vaccinations are underway once again at the Superstation at Petco Park. 2 days of appointments had to be canceled because of the damage from the last storm. From Sky 10, we could also see traffic was backed up for blocks, leaving some people waiting for hours. It did start clearing up in the afternoon. Those appointments postponed Monday. They have been rescheduled for tomorrow. Those scheduled for Tuesday, they have been moved to Saturday. And another vaccine superstation is coming to the North County. It will open this Sunday, January 31st, on the campus of Cal State San Marcos. That superstation will have the capabilities of vaccinating up to 5,000 individuals a day. Appointments will open online Saturday. And as of today, more than 210,000 people in San Diego County have been vaccinated for COVID-19. Nearly 43,000 have been fully vaccinated, meaning they have received both of the shots. And we have learned the local COVID vaccine supply is getting a boost in terms of how much vaccine can be used from each vial. As our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen found out, doctors at Kaiser Permanente say they have found a way to get extra doses out of the vials so the limited supply doesn't go to waste.
Soon after the government approved the Pfizer vaccine in December, pharmacists discovered that a small amount in every 5-dose vial shipped amounted to a full dose. Getting that dose would be tricky. The 6th dose can be easily discarded.
You may have vaccine within the dead space,
as extra vaccine in each dose becomes trapped in the small dead space in regular syringes, according to Dr. Will Sang, who heads the local vaccine program for Kaiser Permanente. So Dr. Sang's team decided from the beginning to make retrieving that extra dose a priority after getting approval from the feds.
We were very diligent from up front about our training for safety and quality reasons.
They zeroed in on the smallest syringe they had, called a 25 gauge, which minimizes vaccine in the dead space.
And draw out an equal amount of air.
A team of technicians and pharmacists are on hand throughout the process, making sure the measurements are precise. From the mixing of the vaccine with a diluent solution to the retrieval for each dose. The end result:
6 per vial without any question, and sometimes we can even get a 7th vial. We treat this as liquid gold, so we do not waste any drops.
Experts nationwide have said getting the extra dose requires a special syringe in short supply, a low dead volume syringe. Last week, President Biden invoked the Defense Production Act to ramp up production of that syringe. Dr. Singh says he'll look at that syringe to see if it performs better, adding, if producing the syringe helps other facilities more easily retrieve the extra dose, that's good news.
You can do that in big numbers. That's what we need to do.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Sharp Healthcare, Scripps Health, and UCSD Health, they all tell us they are also able to retrieve that extra dose. As for the Moderna vaccine, Dr. Singh says while they can occasionally get an 11th dose out of a 10-dose vial.
We're getting our first look inside a major resource in the North County in the fight against coronavirus. The Federal Medical Station at Palomar Medical Center was activated last month, and today Congressman Darrell Issa toured that facility.
This is the 11th floor of Palomar Medical Center, ready to accept COVID patients. It's empty right now, but the floor just below it is open and caring for 18 people with COVID, sick enough to be hospitalized, but not needing to be in the ICU.
We are just pleased that we have had an ability to be a resource for the entire region.
Hospital officials opened the doors for the first time to the 2 floors, also known as the Federal Medical Station, so Congressman Darrell Issa and the public could see firsthand what's available.
Every additional bed and every new innovation that gives surge capability, like what they've done here at Palomar, is important.
The so-called alternative care site, with its 202 beds, was actually created back in April of 2020, but not activated until December by Governor Gavin Newsom, when ICU bed capacity in Southern California dropped to near zero. Federal medical stations like this are a tool used by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to ease the strain on hospitals. So far, it hasn't been anywhere near capacity, but it remains ready to handle COVID patients at a moment's notice.
We know that we're getting the best care by caring people, not just local, but from around the country.
Right now, it's unclear how long the Federal Medical Station will remain open.
January has now become the deadliest month of the pandemic here in the U.S. Nearly 80,000 Americans have now lost their lives to COVID-19 this month alone. Today, the new White House coronavirus team held its first briefing detailing how they plan to tackle the pandemic moving forward. That includes opening community vaccination centers and distributing doses to states faster. The government hopes to get 300 million Americans vaccinated by the end of the summer.
We are taking action to increase supply and increase capacity. But even so, it will be months before everyone who wants a vaccine will be able to get one.
The CDC says more than 44 million vaccine doses have been distributed, but just over half of those have made it into arms. And you might soon need to get a COVID test if you plan on flying. Today, CDC officials said the Biden administration is considering requiring a negative test before any domestic flight. A similar policy just started yesterday for flyers coming into the U.S. from out of country. Government officials say that people should be avoiding travel whenever possible. And you can track the latest developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News. Ooh, that was loud. Turning now to our weather. Clear skies and cooler temperatures as we await another storm that's making its way towards San Diego County. It's expected to bring widespread rain and a chance for flooding, a lot like what we had this past weekend. Here's Angelica Campos with an update on your forecast.
Hi, Steve. And this storm that's coming does have some differences from the previous one. This one will be much warmer and it brings heavier rainfall, which will present the chance for flooding. So here's what it looks like. It's already moving south of the Bay Area. If we go a little bit closer into the storm, let me show you where it is. Los Angeles kind of waiting on the first few showers that could fall, but most likely for us is going to be late tomorrow into the evening time. And it does go into effect at 7 o'clock, a flash flood watch. It will be in effect until 4 p.m. on Friday because of the likelihood that flooding will be occurring across our county. We could see accumulations ranging from 1 to 2 inches of rain. Isolated areas could see even more. I'll break it all down. I'll show you what to expect from the coast all the way to the deserts, and also when we'll start to see a better break and another chance for rain. So a little bit more wet weather still coming.
It has now been exactly 3 weeks since the deadly Capitol Hill insurrection. The aftermath is still being felt. But as ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports, it appears Republicans are backing away from convicting former President Trump for his role in those riots.
3 weeks after the deadly attack on the nation's capital, a new warning about ongoing domestic terror threats. The Department of Homeland Security issuing its first national terrorism advisory in a year, saying violent extremists could be emboldened by the January 6th attack. The warning comes as the investigation into the Capitol breach continues. The Justice Department announcing charges today against Ian Benjamin Rogers, who they accuse of possessing 5 pipe bombs and a large cache of firearms and ammunition. Prosecutors allege he sent threatening texts to Democrats and threatened war if former President Trump left office. The FBI says it's identified more than 400 suspects and made about 135 arrests in the attack. And DOJ officials say some rioters could face charges of sedition.
We are closely looking at evidence related to the sedition charges. The results will bear fruit very soon.
In Congress, the Senate appears increasingly unlikely to reach the 2/3 majority needed to convict former President Trump for inciting the insurrection. Trump's historic second impeachment trial is set to start the week of February 8th. Democrats insist a conviction is necessary to hold the former president accountable and to lead the way to another vote, preventing Trump from holding federal office again.
Make no mistake, there will be a trial, and the evidence against the former president will be presented in living color for the nation and every one of us to see.
17 Republicans would need to join all Democrats to vote to convict. But 45 GOP senators voted to dismiss Trump's trial as unconstitutional because he's no longer in office.
This is not a trial of the president, but of a private citizen.
And with a conviction appearing less likely, Republican Senator Susan Collins and Democratic Senator Tim Kaine are now floating the idea of censuring Trump as an alternative to the impeachment trial. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Beloved TV and movie actress and North County resident Cloris Leachman has died. Leachman won a Supporting Actress Oscar for Last Picture Show, stole scenes as hilarious characters in several Mel Brooks movies, and became the most nominated actress in Emmy history with 22. Her 8 wins is tied for most with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Leachman eventually settled in Encinitas. We caught up with her for an interview when she was at the Pride Parade and Grand Marshal in 2010. Her longtime manager called her fearless. Quote, with a single look, she had the ability to break your heart or make you laugh till tears ran down your face. Cloris Leachman was 94.
One of the best, one of the absolute best.